What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Heart of the City, 119. And this is a big one, folks. This is a big one as we got opening day action. New York Yankees versus the San Francisco Giants. So we're going to get into that. Mets playing the Pirates. We're going to get into that, but that's tomorrow. We're going to get into the New York Knicks. And it's almost playoff time. Are they ready? We're going to ask a couple questions. The Brooklyn Nets had 5 first-round draft picks. Was it all worth it? As they are trying to get in position to get more picks coming up in this draft. We're going to get into that. And guess what, man? It's draft time. We're going to talk a little bit about the draft. Got some questions for the Giants. Got some questions for the Jets. And, of course, we got, the real culture segment. The best on YouTube. You already know what it is, man. We taking you back in the day. And we're going to talk childhood activities. All that much more, man. But before I get into that, man, Coach, what's good with you, man? How you feeling tonight, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just ready to rock and roll, get into this, and get around the city and see what's going on.
All right, we're gonna tap in. We're gonna tap in here. Please hit that like. Please hit that subscribe. We got Big Pat on the tracks tonight. Shout out to you, and you know what we do. Let's get it.
Ricey K, the Raisin Man.
All right, man. Welcome back. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Check it out. It's opening day, and you know where we got to start, man. We got to start with the Yankees, man.
New York Yankees.
So, Yanks giving the business to the San Francisco Giants right now. Just cut the game on myself. And guess what? Grissom knocked in a couple. You had the bottom of the order getting busy. Caballero and McMahon both with hits. Salute to you, man. K, appreciate you tapping in. But bottom of the order getting busy for the Yankees right now, knocking around the starter Logan Webb for San Francisco. So yeah, man, Yanks coming out with a bang, and hey, they're gonna need it, man, because it's a lot of competition in that American League, that AL East. Right now, you got Jazz Chisholm up to bat. So we're going to see if the Yankees can put up some more runs. Still early on, though. Still early on in this game. So we will keep our eye on this one. But, Coach, chat, what's y'all's thoughts on the Yankees so far, man? They're putting up a big number here through 3.
It's interesting. Sitting here taking a look at the stats. Grisham 1 for 2 ribbies. Like you said, you got McMahon, Caballero, and Wells all for 1. Caballero and McMahon both got 2 ribbies. So, it's good. Judge, I know most people are going to complain. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, but it's start of the season. It's the first game. So, if you can get production from everyone else while he's starting to round into form, then that makes this team much more dangerous. I was looking at the pitching stats with Fried, through 2 innings, 38 pitches, 21 strikes, 2 ground balls, 1 fly ball. So he has 4 strikeouts. So, that's good. Is like we talked about before, if he can get us through until you get Coles and the other guys back from the pitching staff, that really helps balance out this team. So not going too crazy, but like I said before, I mean, I'm feeling good about this season. As long as we get through everything and you make it through, and even all the projections I looked at, pretty much has the Yankees tops in the American League. So we'll see as we go. What's up, Charles?
Salute to you, Charles, man. Appreciate you tapping in. Yeah, we will see. The thing about the Yankees, though, is I do like to see some of these bottom of the order hitters getting busy, because you remember what we talked about. They need those single hitters, those you know what I'm saying, those guys that can get on base and just bring runs in. Not doing nothing spectacular. A Judge, he struck out 2 times already this game, but you do see guys at the bottom of the order coming through for the Yankees, and they're gonna need that, because when Judge ain't on, when Bellinger ain't on, when Stanton ain't on, you need, Caballero, and some of these other guys, and Grissom's, and some of these other guys to come in and do their thing. So I'm impressed so far with the Yankees, but we'll see. Free back out there on the mound. We will keep an eye on this one. Shout out to the chat. Danielbury Sports, appreciate you tapping in. Man Cave, what's good? What's good? Appreciate y'all tapping in. Hit that like, subscribe, share the content out if you choose to do so. The Mets are playing too. But the Mets playing tomorrow. Tomorrow against the Pirates. The Mets are going up against Paul Skeens.
New York Mets.
Yeah, that's gonna be a rough one right there, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Get the Mets game up here. Yeah, here we go. But yeah, going against Paul Skeens tomorrow. They got Freddie Peralta out there. The Mets top dog. I'm hearing baseball people talk about the Mets as one of those teams that's up there that could be possibly knock off the Dodgers in the National League. Also mention your Phillies. You know what I mean? So, but the Mets, they went out there, they spend big money now. They trying to be one of them big time teams like the Dodgers, like the Yankees. How do you see the Mets fitting into all this?
First of all, their division is going to be tough. When you got Atlanta and the Phillies, it's going to be tough for them, in terms of competing with, those two for the division. But I mean, they do have, a good team. They're projected to have a good team. So, yeah, everyone knows it's about, the Dodgers, out west. Can you throw the Padres in there? It's going to be interesting. But I think the Mets, I've seen mixed reviews. Some say the Padres, some say the Mets are going to win the NL East. So, but I think they're going to be in the thick of it. And, if they play to form, they're another one that could be competing in who knows.
Yes. This is a big year for the Mets. They lost Pete Alonso. They were in on some players, didn't get them. You do get Lindor back healthy to start the season, so that's big right there for the Mets. They got to start to, capitalize on some of these players that they paying this high payroll. So that's how I'm looking at the Mets now. You're not just going to get by being the old, just the old Mets. Like, nah, y'all are contenders now. Y'all are up there with the big dogs. You're being mentioned with the big dogs. So, here on Heart of the City, I'm gonna start treating you like a big dog, win or lose. So but this is a big one right here, man, against Paul Skeens, one of the best pitchers in baseball. Yeah, man. What you think about this one? What you get him? What do you think the Mets is? Oh, Lindor is day to day. I thought they said he was starting. Well,
with the Mets lineup, it's always a chance. It's not like they're going to go in there and get totally obliterated. Now Skeens is an elite pitcher. So, but if the Mets are what I'm saying, all projections have said to me, and what I'm thinking, they're going to go in there and they're going to compete. That's first and foremost. They're going to compete, and number two, they may come away with the win. So, it's not like Skeen has won every game he's pitched. He has some losses too. So, he's human just like every last one of us. So we'll see. I think it'll be a good game, though. I do. I really do think it'll be a good game to start off the season. Plus, they're playing in Queens. So, they're in Queens, right?
I do believe so.
Yeah, usually the home team is on the right. Yeah, so that's another good thing too. The energy from the fans, that's going to help you out too. So it's going to be interesting, like I said.
Most definitely. Francisco Lindor is playing. So, sorry for the mixed reports there, but nevertheless, man, baseball is back. So we're gonna keep our eye on this Yankees Giants matchup. I do got it up, so we'll be tapping in to that as the show goes along. We'll also be talking about the Mets too as well. But we're gonna get into that a little bit later. Let's switch gears here, and I want to talk about the New York Knicks. And there's some things going on here with your boy Mikal Bridges. So I want to play a little clip here for y'all, and we should be all right with this one. It's from Twitter, but this is Stephen A. Smith, and in the First Take crew, I'll play a little bit of this talking about Mikal Bridges here. So, and then we'll get into it.
Because he's doing what's asked of him. And if we were to sit there and he gets some of that unfair flack just because he's doing what's asked of him. And if we were to sit there and say, go shoot 15 shots a game, he would be efficient and he could do it. But that's not what's been asked of him. End quote. Monica Monica.
Good morning.
Just now here on First Take. I need more coffee. But Stephen A., I know you have been critical of Mikal Bridges in the past, rightfully so. What do you make of Josh Hart coming to his defense?
I need Josh Hart to be quiet. Sit down. Only time I want you standing up and talking is if you're playing. Not when it comes to Mikal Bridges. You need to stand down. This is grown-ups. This is business. So let's keep it a buck here. I will preface my comments by saying Little Birdie, who I appreciate so much, enlightened me about something that I pretty much knew, but I appreciated her guiding me on this by reminding me that Jalen Brunson didn't have anything to do with Mikal Bridges coming to New York. He certainly wouldn't have wanted Dante DiVincenzo to be gone. And I appreciate that. But I wasn't implying that Jalen Brunson was sitting back and working in concert with Leon Rose to manipulate proceedings so his boy could come to New York City. That started with him at Villanova and helped him win a couple of national championships. What I was saying was that you are the face of the franchise. You are big time. And when you make a decision financially to sign a contract a year earlier that's going to save the organization $113 million for them to go out and get additional help for you, and that additional help is your former college teammate and one of your best friends in the world. Well, respectfully, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it ain't a damn mongoose. We know what it is. You don't have to say it. You don't have to speak it. You don't have to be involved. The organization knew what you would want. Now, it's not his fault that Leon Rose ended up giving the farm for Mikal Bridges. 4 first-round unprotected picks, an additional first-round pick that wasn't unprotected, an additional first-round pick after that involved a swap and a second-round pick. My God, that's 7 picks. 7 for a dude they think can't even give you 10 points a game. That's unacceptable.
All right, so you heard what Stephen A. was saying there, right? The 7 picks for Bridges, 10 points per game is actually less. It's actually less than that. In the last 10 games, Mikal Bridges has 8.6 points per game, 4 rebounds a game, 3 assists a game, 3.7 assists a game, and he is shooting, yeah, folks, 37% from the field and 30% from three-pointer. What? My question is, this is my question. Is Mikal Bridges the weakest link on this New York Knicks team? Because the way it's looking now, it's like, God damn. This dude is not coming up. I mean, you know, it's down the stretch. You want to see your best players perform. You do got to give them a chance in the playoffs and see what happens. But I'm saying it. Is he the weakest link on the Knicks? Coach, what you think?
No. Didn't Wemby just allude to something recently? Was it yesterday, day before yesterday, talking about MVP and basketball is more than just offense. It's two ways. Mikal Bridges is still a good defender. All right. So to question if he's the weakest link, that's not fair. Because I can go down the list. Okay, you can say Mitchell Robinson because Mitchell Robinson is a free throw liability. So teams can.
Let's say the starters. Because I knew you go down the
No. But what I'm saying, my point being is every player has weaknesses. Jalen Brunson, we all know if you get him one-on-one defensively, he can be a liability. They used to question Cat, but everything that I'm seeing, reading, and so he's improved defensively. OG is streaky. Sometimes he can get you 25 a game, and then another game he can get you 4 points. So everybody has their weaknesses in terms of this team. Collectively, Josh Hart, he's not consistent. So for me to say the question, is he the weakest link? Do teams come at him defensively? No, they go after Jalen Brunson. Now, is he streaky? Yes. I will agree with that. Is he on a cold streak? Come on, bro. I've been following Knicks for the longest. John Starks was one of the most favorite and Knicks fan that's out there. And we all know he was streaky. But now I get it.
With all due respect.
No, hold on. Let me finish.
John Starks is not Mikal Bridges.
That's not what I was saying. Let me finish my point, please. With Mikal, you gave up all the picks, so the expectation goes up. What I was referring to with him and Starks is the streakiness. Yes, John Starks has that dog in him that everyone loves. I get it, but the point I'm making when I compartmentalize is the streakiness. When Mikal Bridges was on, nobody was coming at him, but all of a sudden now, he's Stephen A. Smith saying what he's saying. So no, is he the weakest link on the starters? To me, no, because they all have issues. They all have weaknesses. They do. Offensively, you can come after Cat. Sometimes he disappears offensively. We talk about him going down the lane and the falling on the ground, and sometimes he's not hitting those shots. You can go through everyone. Look, I've even looked at Brunson sometimes. I'm looking at him. Even yesterday, I was looking at the stats, and I'm looking okay, Towns is going off. And Brunson, where was he? But did he close? Yes. Because that's one thing I've been noticing about Brunson. He doesn't start fast. He finishes, but he does not start fast. Now, some of that, I think, is he's trying to get all his teammates into the flow. So, is Mikal Bridges the weakest link? No. Is he that big of an issue to this team? No. So, that's just me.
Okay. I don't know, bro. I mean, it hadn't looked good for the Cat, man. I mean,
he's gonna stay in the game.
I don't know what shit like this is about, bro. But like,
I say something.
Yeah. Come on, Knicks defender. Come on in here and get you some of this work.
First of all, that play there, you saw that he twisted his ankle before he went up. A lot of people would have done that if you twist your ankle before you go up. But anyway, it's not about being a Knicks defender. It's about how I think people really do hate on this team. Don't know why, but they really do.
It's New York.
We're a program that talks about the Knicks. Hold up. I came up with these topics, right? Okay. So I asked the question, is Mikal Bridges the weakest link on your team? Coach said no. That's it, bro. Is he the weakest link on the team? It's just one player. I haven't talked anything about hating on the Knicks or nothing like that. I'm talking about Mikal Bridges that the Knicks gave up 7 first-round picks for. Is he the weakest link on the team? Not does he have weaknesses? Is he the weakest link on the team? If not, who is? Because some people saying it's Karl Anthony Towns. Some people saying it's Jalen Brunson. Some people saying it's the coach.
See, this is why I don't like talking Knicks basketball with Knicks fans and New York people, because you never let the person talk.
Because
I listen
narrative.
So
I made it clear to you.
Said.
Continue.
Did I say Kenneth hates on the Knicks? I said people. When a man steps up for his teammates and you tell him to shut the hell up because you want to get your point off across, that's hate. Now, before you put your little thing on me about talking about you with the Knicks, I said people. And Stephen A. Smith is one of the main ones. And coach is right. John Starks is a Knicks fan. Man, that dude's a Steelers fan, man. I ain't worried about Stephen A. Smith. And coach is right. John Starks used to do some of the same things, bro. And I'm in the same area as you do, so you can't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Is he John Starks? No.
Yeah, they ain't give up 7 first-round picks for John Starks.
That's not the point.
Saying.
The play, if we're talking about the play, you were talking about the play. We're not talking about the picks. See, that's why I said I understand people elevated because of the picks, but your question is he the weakest link? So I'm looking at the team. I'm not talking about the picks. I don't give 2 shits about that. It is what it is. But on the court, on the play, is he the weakest link? No.
Okay.
Because people have similar things they're saying about John Starks. If you want to say about
I'm not talking about John Starks, bro.
Would you please let me finish?
I'm talking about Mikal Bridges.
Would you please let me? I am on subject, sir. I'm saying one of the prime Knicks players that they loved back in the day did some of the same shit.
No, he didn't. That's a bullshit, bro.
Oh,
I
my
John Starks my entire fucking life. He was not Mikal Bridges. That's fucking that.
Coach.
No, you not.
When you were watching the Knicks back in the day, what if people being like, man, John Starks need to step up because he would go.
John Starks was one of the better. John Starks was guard Jordan, nigga.
Coach,
but hold a minute.
When John Starks was playing back in the day, and he would go through those slumps. He would literally be off.
He had one major slump in the finals. Okay. They didn't even make the finals.
Almighty, can I speak?
Go ahead, bro. Shit.
John Starks throughout his whole career used to do that. He would be scorching hot, be like 40-50% from the 3. And then you get on like a 5-game stretch where he's shooting like 20-something%. It's like, man, John Starks need to step it up. But guess what John Starks did that whole time he was in that slump? Like you said, he was guarding people like Jordan and them. That's why he was beloved. That's not saying Mikal Bridges is John Starks. People are hating on this dude because of what the Knicks gave up to get him. He had no control over that. That was whoever the GM was gave up those 7 picks for him. No other GM would have done that. You got to let this man find his role. Should he be the top offensive weapon? No. You want to know why? Because he plays great defense. So if this man can get his groove back and average 15 points a game, again, nobody will be talking about him again. But it's just a little subject to where, we can harp on him. We can make news about this. Oh, they gave up this many picks to get this guy. That's all this is about. Because as soon as they get in the playoffs and they start winning, niggas ain't gonna say nothing about Mikal Bridges no more. People weren't shitting on him all season long. But he goes through a little 10-game slump. Now he's the weakest link. He's this, he's that. And I'm not even a Knicks fan like that. But the way they keep talking about the Knicks throughout this whole season,
How are you here then, bro?
because I love talking basketball and I could be here.
I don't mean it like that, Pat. I'm just saying, like, you in the conversation.
I hope this Knicks team go off in the playoffs because every time some little thing happens with the Knicks, everybody wants to jump on them.
You jumped in as a Bulls fan, bro. So
Okay.
you're right. Everybody does want to jump in on the Knicks.
Yeah, they do.
Look, I will say this.
Next week we're gonna
terms
talk
of-
about Chicago.
I can talk about Chicago right now. We trash.
Go ahead, Coach.
You want to hear what I really think about Chicago?
Go ahead.
I
Let
ain't got no
Coach
thing about
go.
that.
Let
Here's
Coach
the
go.
thing about the
Go
Knicks.
ahead, Coach.
The Knicks, because of the fan base, they are correlated and similar to the Dallas Cowboys. I have to be honest. And people hate that. I hate the Cowboys because of the fans. Sometimes the fans are delusional. And that's the truth. That is the straight up truth. And y'all want to kill me? Go right ahead. But guess what? It's the truth. I sit in spaces. I talk to some Knicks fans, different eras. I talked to a Knicks fan who's in his he's actually in his 80s now. And sometimes he says something, I'm like, yo, bro, no. Let's take it down. There's times I get too emotional about the Knicks and irrational. I'm talking about myself. So yes, people hate on that. Take it another step further. We're in New York City. People hate on New York teams collectively. And we're all New York fans one way or another, and we know it, we see it. So yes, it's there. Bringing it back to Mikal Bridges, people, because what Pat just said, and you said it yourself, you gave up all those picks for him. So yes, and I said it initially, the expectation is much higher. If they had gave up, for argument's sake, not saying it would have happened, but let's just say they gave up 2 or 3 picks, no one would be saying anything. You might hear some criticism, but not to the magnitude it is. It's when you round it and you bring it all together, it's because the Knicks gave up all those picks for him. And now everyone is expecting him to be basically like a Giannis. I'm going to be real. They are. They're expecting him to be that caliber. We knew what Mikal was. And guess what?
Yeah.
The Knicks had to pay a tax because it was with the Nets. If it was any other team, it probably wouldn't have been that many. So, you know what? I don't get into all that. My expectation is not because he got the picks. He's a Knick, and I want to see him do well. Plain and simple. And when people ask me at the beginning, I said I want him between 15 and 18 points. That's all I'm expecting from him. But if you give up all those picks to say 15 and 18, you would look and be like, no, it should be 25 to 30 points a game. No. What's his role? Plain and simple. That's what it is. Now, to your question, is he the weakest link? No, because I said it. You can put it on each and every last one of them. You even talked about the coaching, which I didn't even put into the equation. The point being is they all have flaws. The problem with the Knicks, more than anything, is they are too inconsistent. I saw it here. I'm gonna give it to you to put up, or you could look at it. Shit. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. This something I was looking at Facebook because I had seen it somewhere else, and it talks about the Knicks. I'm gonna put it in a private chat for you.
Here's the thing with the Knicks. Look, it's the expectations of this team. You know what I'm saying? So if this was a rebuild year, or if this was like year one of this whole party, you know, the whole get together with Bridges and Hart and Brunson and Carr and all these guys, you know, I feel like the tone would be different. Just like it was different last year when they got into the playoffs with the East Conference Finals, yada, yada, yada. I said at the beginning of the season on this show when we started, I said, it's the expectations and the pressure is going to be different on the Knicks this year. So, of course, people are going to be talking about them more. Of course, these type of subjects are going to be more in the limelight. Of course, the expectations are going to be higher. And this Knicks team right now, sitting third in the Eastern Conference, behind Detroit, behind Boston, you know, there are some questions. It's not like they just blowing the doors off of the Eastern Conference. Yeah, they on a 7-game win streak, and they do beat the teams they supposed to beat. I give them that. But again, you still got tough competition in the East and tough competition in the West, and there are questions about this team. So as a content creator, yes, I'm going to bring up questions about Bridges, questions about Karl Anthony Towns. Now, you know me, I'm not never going to sit here and give you no rosy colored glass, full, optimistic view when there's clearly questions about a team. Now, if they were sitting first in the Eastern Conference, which they should have been, given everything that happened to Boston and Indiana, but you let Detroit come up and get you, whatever. If they were sitting first in the Eastern Conference, we wouldn't be having these type of questions.
I disagree with you there. Because it would be, well, they're not undefeated. They're not this, they're not that. You just said there's questions about this team. There's questions about every team. I don't care if it's Oklahoma City. I don't care if it's Toronto. I don't care who it is. Everyone has questions.
Mm-hmm. Questions matching expectation. That's it.
It's still the same thing. Oklahoma City, can they repeat? That is a question. Now, we're expecting them to repeat. And if they don't, you know what? There's going to be, you know, were they real, or was this a fluke, and all this and that. My point being, everyone has questions. Your questions are fair, so I don't want you to think I'm discrediting them. I'm not. But what I'm saying is, across the board, the questions for and rightfully so. Guess what? You fired Tibbs first and foremost, so you said championship or bust. So I get it. Now, Mikal, first of all, Mikal was a couple of years ago with the trade, and we still are talking about this damn thing. We still are. It's like, okay, he's here. When are people going to let it go? Whether you're a fan of the team or not. When are you going to just let that go and just focus on what's going on right now?
We are focused on what's going on right now.
8.6,
4 rebounds and 3 assists a game.
But the point is part of your argument is part of the narrative, not yours alone, is that people bring up, oh, well, you gave up all these picks for him. Well, you're still tarping on what happened a couple of years ago.
Throw the picks out the window for a
That's
second.
my point.
I just brought that point up because I was debating with the producer. So my original question didn't have anything to do with the picks. It was about this performance in the last 10 games, and we're going into the playoffs. That's why I was asking you on the starters as a group. If he's not the weakest link, okay, let's not say weakest link. Who do you feel least confident about going into a series with, say, Boston or Detroit or somebody like that? Because guys going to have to perform. Jalen Brunson, really?
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson, really?
And okay. I said it a little bit earlier. I said all. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, I'm sorry. Duh, Ed. Remember, I said all year I've been watching. He starts out slow. He finishes great. Yes, he does. And what's one of the issues with the Knicks? They always start out slow, but then come back and fight. It's like they say, I'm gonna flip the switch when I need to. No, sometimes you gotta put your throat on people's necks and break it right off the start. So, and he's the leader, he's the captain. Everything flows through him. Well, if that's the case, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't think he's gonna produce. Yeah, I know he's going to produce. But you know what? Coming from a coaching perspective, yo, I need you to get it going right off the bat. Yeah, I get it. He wants to get Karl Anthony Town going because he's, or, whether it's Josh Hart or whether it's OG, he's getting everyone else in. It's where is that even balance where you're getting everyone else going to start, but you're also getting yours too. TOO. So that's my only thing. Do I have confidence in this team going into the playoffs? Yes, I do. I've never expected Mikal Bridges to come in here and light it up offensively. If anybody, here's my pecking order in terms of scoring. Brunson, Cat, OG. Mikal is fourth, if that. And him and Josh Hart, you want to say they're 4.5 each? Okay, fine. I said to you, I'm not 15 to 18 points. That's all I really want from him, and good sound defense. Play the passing lanes. That's what I need from him. Now, he's on a slump right now. Granted, you want to say, look, try and get in your rhythm. Your point is going into the playoffs. It happens all the time, bro. We've seen guys get in a slump for the last 20 games going into the season, but then somehow they get hot going into the playoffs. And we've seen guys who were hot get as with those last 20 games going into the playoffs and then get in the playoffs and they disappear. They shrivel up. But I understand what you're saying, your question, because it is, I get it, and rightfully so. I understand people who ask that question. But I usually, myself, I just take it like people just feel that way because the Knicks gave up so many picks. If they had to give up 2 first rounders, nobody would be saying anything. I'm going to be honest. But hey, look, kudos to the Nets. They did business-wise, they did what they were supposed to do. You put a tax on the Knicks. They're in the same town as you, in the same division. Yeah, I would too. If the shoe was on the other way around and it was the Nets, you best believe, you know what? We're gonna put a tax on you. That's business. That's the name of the game, baby.
And that's the tax. And that's the tax that I'm putting on this show too. Because again, I get trolled by a lot of Knicks fans too. That call me a hater when I grew up watching the team. You know what I'm saying? I would want them to win. But again, I'm gonna come on here and keep it $100. That was a bad trade, and that dude is ass. Enough said. Let's get to the Nets. Cause I'm not gonna back off of it, bro. Cause all I heard was, yeah, we got Bridges from y'all. It wasn't you. So don't get to your whole soliloquy about
I know it wasn't me. So I'm just gonna ask this. I'm gonna ask this because you're talking about on this show. People on this show who are Knicks fans came at you like that, or are you just talking about outside of this? This is for me.
I'm talking about general.
Yeah,
Knicks fans who were celebrating the fact that Mikal Bridges, the Nets' so-called best player, was traded.
I was talking about you. You said they came at you, so I'm just talking about that.
Well, the whole. Well, not me. I guess you could say the Nets or the Nets fan base.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. That's it. You're right about that. You're right about that.
I don't really get into the back and forth with people like that on social media or whatever. But I do hear it. You know what I'm saying? And I see it. So, and it wasn't pretty. You know what I'm saying? So, turnabout is fair play. But the Nets got their own problems. So let's get into them. Brooklyn Nets tonight are in Golden State. Good luck with that. The Nets are near the bottom of the Eastern Conference. And my thing here with the Nets, I had my banners. I ain't put my banners up in there. But I want to look at the recent draft picks of the Brooklyn Nets. And Because it's a lot of people saying that the Nets missed on these draft picks. And so they have 5 first rounders, right? So let's take a look at this year's 5 first rounders before we get into the previous years. Let's see here. Yeah, because this is wild. So back to the Brooklyn Nets. All right, let's go to the first one, Igor Demon, who was picked first round, pick 8, 10.3 points a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 40% from the field, mostly 3-pointers, and he was shut down. Does expect to be back for the summer league, so we shall see. But nevertheless, didn't give you a lot. I didn't know what Nets fans was expecting to see, but he was an 8th pick in the draft, so that is that. So I'm gonna run down the picks before we comment on it. All right, next they went Nolan Traore. This is the one that's been buzzing lately. Of course, he's out tonight, no surprise. But he was picked 19th, 8.3 points per game, 1 rebound, 3 assists. He does have some type of did have like a bunch of assists in February or something like that. Came on towards the end of the season here. That's him. All right. So, and then you got Danny Wolf. Danny Wolf, round 1, pick 27, 8 points, almost 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 40% from the field. And Ben Saraf, first round, pick 26, 6 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 38% from the field. And Drake Powell. 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 41% from the field. And I believe he's in the G League right now. So that's this year's draft. Now, I'm not poo-pooing it. So, but we are going to ask the question. This draft, how would you feel, or how would Nets fans feel about this draft currently as the season's almost done? You know, we still got games to go, but for the Nets, the season is done. As they're just playing out the string, literally trying to get that pick. I gave you the numbers. You've seen the Nets, I'm sure, a few times because they played the Knicks.
Pardon me, sorry.
Oh, if you haven't, maybe you heard, maybe seen the highlights, whatever. What's your thoughts, though, Coach? This one's tough for me, man. Like, I don't feel terrible about the draft, but ain't feeling great about it either.
Okay. What is your question you're asking me about the Nets?
Well, what I'm hearing is people saying the Nets missed on these picks. They missed on the last couple drafts. I'm gonna get into the other draft picks too. And like the team don't have no talent pretty much because you ain't hit on none of your picks. Now you trying to get a top 3 pick this year so you can get you a stud, but you're taking a lot of swings, you know, because you're getting all these picks. So we trying to come down to the question ultimately, what is this strategy worth it? Because you got these 5 first-round picks now, and we'll talk about other picks, but this class, how do you feel about the? I'll ask a better question for you. How do you feel about the draft picks? Because I'm not going to ask, did because that's a little rash. But that is what I'm hearing. So that's why I kind of put it that way. But how do you feel about the draft picks?
I mean, the draft picks, see, the stats alone doesn't tell me, first of all, what's the system? How are they fitting into the system? What are they being asked to do by the coaching staff? Some might not be asked to score a lot. So it's kind of hard, There are times where I've watched them and they're competing and they're playing hard, but they're a young team. They're making young team mistakes. And then there's, times they get totally obliterated. I'm like, I can't even defend that. I can't. So it's kind of hard to critique a young team like this. Because ultimately, if you're going to critique it, then are you critiquing the head coach? Are you saying the head coach is doing a terrible job? Are you saying the head coach is not developing these players? Like, it's a catch. And I get where you're going. And the question you're asking, it's a catch-22. It really is. Because you guys got a young team. And, think about it. 5 first-round draft picks? Nobody does that. So that tells you right there, it's a young team. And, you missed on it. Okay, you're a young team that's developing. What are you watching when you watch the game? Is it all about just scoring points, rebounds, and block shots? Or are they picking up their defensive assignments? Are they rotating? Are they coming out and setting good screens while they're out there? Are they communicating? That's another thing. Young players tend they're timid when they first get out there, unless they're a high established like a Cooper Flag. But even he initially is going to be timid to start because you're playing with grown-ass men instead of college players. So to me, in all fairness, I'd say next year, the middle of next year, to see if these guys are progressing, then you can argue did they hit or miss. But after year 1, that's, for me, that's steep.
All right.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Let's look at it this way. And this is okay. So these are the Nets draft picks. Of course, they gave up all those picks in those trades, so they didn't have picks in a lot of years, but they did have a 25, a 23, and a 21 draft. Remember, you can't do it back-to-back years, so they skipped a year in each draft. And now they'll have their picks going all the way through from here on out, unless they trade them again. But all right, all we can start is with 21, really. None of these guys are on the team. Kessler Edwards, Marcus Zagorowski, Raekwon Gray, Cam Thomas, of course. Cam Thomas released by the Bucks, by the way, which is crazy. A lot of people talking about that. But anyway, then at 23, you had Jalen Wilson. Think he's still around. Whitehead. Is he gone? I don't know. Clowney's still here. Some people like his potential. Like none of these guys are doing any damn thing. That's my point. Like, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll excuse this draft class, but then you got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
That's fair argument. What did I say? Going into next year.
Goddamn thing.
That's why I said going into next year. But right now, because you're asking about this year, if I'm understanding correctly, you asked, you're hearing from people that they missed with these draft picks. And I'm saying
these draft picks, yeah, that's what I'm hearing. But I'm going into this. My thing is with the Nets, bro, and you know what it is. It's this goddamn general manager. I don't like this mofo. And people saying, well, he know how to draft. Does he? Why is he here? You see what I'm saying? Maybe these draft picks ain't gonna be misses. I hope they not. And I don't think they will. I like Danny Wolf and I like Drake Powell, Carolina kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. So question mark. The other picks, they done. Clowney, you got maybe a good second rotation role player. Maybe his upside is at this point because he's been in the league for a couple years. I've seen him play. I've seen him grow. He still can get better, but he's not no superstar. There's no stars here. There's no even, B-level players here. And it's you can tell. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that type of talent on this roster. So if you're not hitting on the trades and you're not hitting on the picks, why are you here, sir? And I'm asking that question to Sean Marks.
That I'm not gonna debate. I'm not even gonna touch that. You guys have always complained about him, so I'm just like, okay, But
so that was just some of the things I was thinking about, Coach, because I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, we can't judge this draft class, but let me go and look at some of this other stuff.
But look, you hit on what I said earlier too. I said, like, with this draft class, the middle of next year going in, then you can start to get a general idea. But you just targeted all those other class. Valid argument. I can't. Cam Thomas was the big one for me. I mean, because all I heard is, for the longest while, Cam Thomas this, Cam Thomas that, and you release him, and then on top of that, he gets cut in Milwaukee after getting picked up, and it's like, what's going on? I mean, I've heard, not just from you, attitude problem. That's the biggest thing. He can score, but it's the attitude problem. He thinks his shit don't stink in comparison to anybody else, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm only going by what I heard. You could tell me better about Cam Thomas, but I'm just like...
Breezy might be able to tell you better about Cam Thomas than I could tell you about Cam Thomas. All I could judge on Cam Thomas was on his game. I don't know him. I could probably actually find out for you though, to be honest with you, because he's from far from where I'm at in I believe he's Chesapeake kid. It's like 30 minutes down the street from me. But I don't necessarily think it's that.
Okay.
With the Nets, to me, you gotta have a role for a player like Cam Thomas. He's not, and it was a lot of Nets fans. Maybe the Nets themselves, as an organization, wanted Cam Thomas to be the star or to be the top. And I never really seen him as that. I always seen him as like a good, three. You know what I'm saying? Like not a three on the court, but like a third option as a scorer. You see what I'm saying? Like somebody that you might can bring off the bench, like a little mini microwave type dude. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody like that because of his scoring ability. Guys that can score like that. You remember guys like Gordon. Remember Gordon? Remember guys like I said, Vinny Johnson. You remember guys like yeah, it was some guys that they just came off the bench and they was just good scorers. There wasn't guys that you was gonna have out there as a star player or as a number one option on your team, But I think the Brooklyn Nets may have thought of him that way. Now I don't know what happened in Milwaukee. That's a weird one because they got him for nothing pretty much. So
that's what I
don't know.
It's like
I don't know.
what the heck
With
happened with him for him to get cut like that? It's like, and that's why it was just like, initially I wasn't paying it no mind, but then it's like, well, damn, he got cut. So is it true what others were saying to me? He's a head case. He's attitude. I don't know. Like you said Breezy can tell us more. I'm gonna leave it like that.
Yeah, I think so because he was into he was out there with the Brooklyn Nets a couple times, tapped into with the Nets and what Cam Thomas was doing over there. So I would definitely point y'all in that direction if you want to know more about Cam Thomas's personal, I guess, attitude or whatever. But I didn't feel like he was like that. But I don't know. I mean, he looked like a passionate player that could score points, but I don't know.
Really?
But anyway, all right, let's get into some football. Let's see what I had pulled up here for the okay. So want to talk about want to talk a little bit here about the New York Giants.
New York Giants.
All right, so we gotta talk about this draft, y'all. Now, the Giants, this is what you sent me here, Coach, about these pro days. And by the way, Ohio State, Alabama had their pro day today. Do know the Giants was at Ohio State's pro day. They were also at I don't know if they was at Alabama's, but no, they was at Ohio State's. So, and then they got these local pro days that they hold, and they got a lot of guys that come in for those as well. So we're gonna see what the Giants do at pick 5. We will have a mock draft right here for you on the Aboriginal Sports Network, hosted by this man down here, Mr. Coach Ed. So y'all tune in for that. So not going to get into that, but what I do want to get into with you guys, and you can chime in too on this one as well, Pat, because we know you are tapped in to the New York Giants. Do the Giants need to get more weapons for Jackson Dart? Now, that's a big question because we're talking about pick 5. There's a lot of people talking about Jeremiah Love. There's a lot of people talking about Carnell Tate, who was looking pretty good at that pro day today. So, and people are a little underwhelmed by the Giants. Well, at least I am. But the Giants signing Darnell Mooney and Austin. So I want to ask, do the Giants need more weapons for Jackson Dart? Because the reason I asked that is because, one, they still talking about getting. There's a lot of chatter about this running back stuff. So obviously they're not feeling good about the running back room, I guess. I don't know. 2, you did get Isaiah Likely. You got Neighbors coming off the injury. Don't know how you feel about the other three receivers, Slayton, Austin, and Mooney, as being a sufficient enough group to round out the Giants' core. Do the Giants need more weapons for Jackson Dart? We see in New England going and then setting up Drake May. You seen how Chicago set up Caleb Williams. So on and so forth. Have they done enough? Do they need to do more? Do they need to get more talent, specifically offensively, to help out Jackson Dart? Are we good? That's the question I want to ask Giants fans. Are y'all good? Or you want more? Y'all got it.
When you say sufficient, are you saying they're just like average, slightly above average, that can get you through in terms of helping you to win games?
What I'm asking is, do they need more talent around this kid, or
well,
you
okay.
see what I'm saying?
Okay, here's the thing. In terms of the skill positions, right now I'm comfortable with what they have. I'm more focused on the trenches. Do we have what we need to give him the ability to get to his playmakers? Because any quarterback, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Tom Brady, Joe Montana. I don't care who it is. If they can't stay upright, it don't mean Jack Daniels. Now, Mooney, Austin, I have to see what they do. I also have to see how schematically they do. We have a new coaching staff. It's not like we have Brian Dable and Kafka and all those other guys. It's a totally... So how do they scheme up these guys? How do they utilize these guys? One thing about a good coach, he looks at his players' abilities and he tries to utilize what he does best and minimize what he doesn't do best. It's just that simple. Now, if you want to blend it all in together with Neighbors and Likely and Slayton and whoever else they put out there, then we're really going to see. So right now, I'm comfortable. I don't have an issue with the receivers they got. I know you're not comfortable with it. I get it. And you know what? They're not superstars and high. I don't want to say high level, but they don't have a high level numbers where everyone looks at the numbers and they base everything off of the numbers, as opposed to when you watch the game, what do? Are they running decoy patterns? Do they pull two with them when they're running through a zone, through a cover? Do they know how to sit in? Those type of things. Do they add? Because everyone gets all caught up into receptions and targets or whatever, but sometimes guys are brought here just to be an added little flavor, a little decoy. Their contract tells me everything that I need to know. How long were they signed for? 1 year apiece? Okay. So they're on a prove-it deal also. So for Jackson Dart, right now, and you talked about Love, okay? When you said that they're not comfortable with the running back room. Love is more than a running back. That's the mistake a lot of people make. You can put him out there as a wide receiver in a game, and you would say, well, he's a running back. Why are you putting him out there as wide receiver? Because the kid can play the position and play it very well. And that allows you then to also bring, if you want to put in Cam Scatbo in the backfield and get him, because now what is the defense doing? They're putting multiple eyes on Love on the outside. So now you're also taking the eyes off of the box. So I understand what he brings to the table. I follow Notre Dame. I see what he's done and Price has done in that backfield. I've seen Notre Dame put them both out there at the same time, and they flex Love out and have him run patterns in the game, or he's running as a decoy. So I get it. We'll see. We'll see. Go ahead. You got it, bro.
So here's the thing, man. I understand, like, everybody wants the star, the guy that can do it all, put up the highlights and da. NYG, Unpopular Opinion Sports, I'm not coming from that angle. My thing is, I'm not comfortable because I don't know that if Neighbors is not ready, or he goes down, or we have injuries, I'm not comfortable with the depth on this team, and I'm not comfortable with Darnell Mooney or Darius Slayton being my number one. So again, to your point though, they are here on prove-it deals. So I do think the Giants are thinking along the lines that I'm thinking, that they need to get more weapons for these kids, and these dudes are just placeholders pretty much for the time being. So that's why I'm bringing up this question. You see what I mean?
I get why you brought up the question, but to that argument, then basically you're saying, based on your comfortability and what you feel the Giants should do, is they should take a receiver at number 5. That's really what you're saying to me.
No.
Okay. That's how I interpret it. That's how I interpret it. So I stand corrected. Then that's not what.
No, bro. Nothing about this question has anything to do with taking a receiver at 5. It's just asking the question: do they need to get more weapons for Jackson Dart? They can hold up, so I can clarify it, because I don't want to get misunderstood. It could be taking a receiver at 5. It could be taking a receiver in the second, third rounds. It could be trading for a receiver. I'm asking the question, though, because there's a lot of hype around this group. Oh, they did so much and got all this help for Jackson Dart. And I'm like, what? Okay.
But they did get help for him.
They got help, but it's as if they went out and got goddamn Mike Evans. You got Darnell Mooney and Tavon Austin. And I'm glad you made the point that they're on 1-year deals. So I don't think the Giants are comfortable with their receiving room right now. I think the fans might be. But
based on that right there, and then you said other things. That's why I went there. I'm adding other things that you put in. You're not comfortable with those receivers. Because initially you just said, did they do enough? But now you said, you are not comfortable with the receivers that they have, number 1. You talked about Malik Neighbors and the possibility of him going down with an injury. That's always going to be a factor, no matter who you have.
Right.
No matter.
That's why you build the depth out.
No. What I'm saying is, you could still have depth there, and you're still going to be concerned. Well, are they still going to be able to step up? Ideally, what you're saying is you want to have 2 number 1s in your starting wide receiver group. No, listen to me, because based on, I'm telling you, as a coach, when you say that, this is how I'm taking it. And I've been through it. When you're worrying about your number 1 who's being hurt, then you are saying, I got to get another number 1 to be out there in case he goes down.
How is having depth on my team worrying about my number 1 getting hurt, bro?
Y'all
be misunderstanding my words.
No,
bro.
I'm done. You said in case Neighbor goes down, because you want somebody else to come in.
And I mentioned the depth too, right?
No, I understand.
But listen, you can mention that about any team with their number 1 receiver. And Justin Jefferson goes down.
Go ahead, man.
If Justin Jefferson goes down, you can mention that about any team. So to a coach, it's like, yo, if you're that scared of Malik Neighbors going down, we need to get another guy that could be the guy that can come in and step in for Neighbors. But Neighbors is the type of player that if he goes down, it's just a tragedy because he's that type of player. That's like if Jamar Chase went down. T. Higgins is cool, but Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. But when it comes to the weapons thing, people keep forgetting that they got Isaiah Likely too. And he can be used as a big receiver or inline or outline or in the slot. And to be honest with you, I don't think people are realizing who Mooney is. Like, Mooney is dope, bro. He's a guy that can sit in zones and knows how to sit in the zones and make those catches. We didn't have receivers like that. And Tavon Austin is a legit deep threat. Every time he's on the field, you get the ball to him quick and let him do what he do. And if this team is based off the run game, then yeah, if they don't get another big-time receiver, you still should be cool. That's why people are talking about Jeremiah Love coming in, because he could be a receiving threat too, like Coach said. You imagine having to focus on him and then you hit somebody with a screen with that?
Would you say you're comfortable with if you are okay getting jerked? Because he would be considered a weapon, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So we're not comfortable with the group.
No, you said he would be considered a weapon, and I said exactly.
You can always get better. What I want them to do.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, you can always get better. The Bengals could get better, and they got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. They could get another number 3.
We're not talking about the Bengals, though. See, I don't want to compare teams.
I'm not comparing teams. I'm comparing situations. I'm not comparing them to the Bengals. I'm comparing the situation.
But the situation ain't the same.
You got
so
teams
how you
that
comparing the situation if it's not the same?
You have teams that have good receivers at 1 and 2. But don't think that if they could get a number 3 receiver that's very good too, they wouldn't do it. I'm saying I'm cool, say if they don't get another receiver. I'll be cool with it because you got Theo Johnson and Isaiah Likely who could take on those bigger receiver roles on the outside in the red zone and things for now. Do I want them to get another bigger receiver? Yeah, I wanted them to get Dontavian Wicks because I think he would have been perfect with these guys. So, yeah, they still going to have to get more weapons for Jackson Dart. You're always going to be looking for weapons. When it comes to building a team, you always, what if I want a big-time receiver that can go over the middle that's 6'4", 6'5", and Isaiah Likely doesn't have to do that all the time, and I can expand Isaiah Likely's role, or I can expand Mooney's role, because I know what they got planned for Mooney. He's going to be that guy that's get those short passes in the middle of the field when you want to run zone, and you try to run zone to cover Malik Neighbors on the outside, and you got to worry about Theo Johnson and Isaiah Likely, and you got to worry about the run game. So he's going to get a lot of matchups with linebackers and zones and things, and he knows how to do that. I get it. He's on a 1-year prove-it deal. That's cool. We all know that they're going to try to get younger at the receiver position after this year. They are. They may try to make a major trade for somebody. Who knows? But, yeah. Comfortable? Yeah, I'm not comfortable. There's a difference between being comfortable and being like, yeah, we got it. No, nobody's thinking we got it at the receiver position, but I'm comfortable if we going to the season with Mooney and Neighbors as my 1 and 2. I am, because I know what Mooney brings. I've watched the kid. I watched him grow from Chicago. That dude is decent, bro. Got speed. He's like a poor man's Deshaun Jackson. And that ain't bad, because Deshaun Jackson got busy out there. And he had similar, and his route running is dope. I want you to watch Darnell Mooney and his route running, bro. It's dope.
I watched Darnell Mooney. I know what Darnell Mooney brings.
It's dope.
I'm not. Okay, please don't take like I don't understand or just don't get it. You see what I'm saying? That's not the point here. The point is that and remember, I'm saying weapons. That's why I put the question on the scroll right there. That's why I do this. Weapons. So if you're talking about running backs and you're talking about, going to Ohio Pro Day, watching Carnell Tate, and this not me. This is what media, maybe the Giants don't know. We don't know for sure, you know. And a lot of the fans, Jeremiah Love, Cornell T. So it's not a question of whether I want more weapons or not. And I'm not comfortable with the receiving group, but I am comfortable with the running backs and tight ends. See there? So again, like you always tell me, be specific what you're saying. So that's what I'm saying. Weapons. So we can talk about the receiving core, which is part of the weapons, but we also can talk about running backs and tight ends. So if they are looking at running backs too, that counts as a weapon. So they must not be good with what they got surrounding Jackson Dart. And remember, the key is Jackson Dart. Does Jackson Dart need more weapons? Not about Darnell Mooney and whether he can perform or whether, see, y'all just want to argue with me.
No, I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to argue with you.
Want to argue with you? We saying based on what coaches think and what organizations think, they're going to do their due diligence on everybody. And Love and Tate are two of the top players in this draft, so of course you're going to look at them. Go ahead, Coach.
You just said, just now, when it comes to Love, you said the Giants are not comfortable. Did you or did you not just say that? And I'm not talking about running back. Listen, I'm talking about the words you just said, because I'm trying to show you. This is why I'm listening to you. But see, this is the thing. This is where you and I bump heads. What you are trying to say sometimes is misinterpreted by me because I think differently than you. So yes, I'm going to come at you in a certain way because of how I'm thinking. Sometimes you do get somewhat defensive thinking I'm trying to, no, I'm not doing that. I'm really trying to understand what you're saying because I know I can misinterpret what you're saying. You know that. We do that. So sometimes that's why I try to be very specific. And I tell you, I take your words and I use them. So you were just talking about when you said Love that the Giants are not comfortable. And that's where I disagree with you. Because you bring in, whether you bring in Love, whether you bring in Tate, that's adding to what you already have. But if they were to go out there right now and say, we're ready to play a football game, they're comfortable with what they have. Because if they weren't, they would still be adding guys, or they would have went for higher price guys and just said, we got to eat the money. Those are all factored into all of this. That's why I'm asking you. Yes, they can bring in Love. And I just said he can play receiver, he can play running back. He's a bonus. It doesn't mean they're not comfortable with, if they go with Tracy or Scabo and Singletary. They have to be comfortable with that. Because why would you resign Singletary if you didn't feel that he was going to come in and help the team? So if you bring in Love, you're adding to the room. If you bring in Tate, you're adding to the room. That's why I said, based on what you're saying, if Neighbors goes down, you're basically saying you want to have two number ones because you're not sure Neighbors is going to make it right now. You're worrying about him getting injured. And where, like me, I don't ever think like that. I take the injuries as they come. Now, yeah, you know what? Is he recovering? Okay. Are they talking to the medicals? Are they going to say he's projected by this time frame? Yes, but you're thinking when he comes back, he's good to go, and I'm going to count on him. I don't ever go in there thinking, oh, he's going to possibly get hurt, so let me get somebody, that's almost as equal talent.
Ready? What if he's not?
That's a different story. That's a different story, but you still have time. You still have time. But right now, they get early in the season when they came in. Don't you think the medicals told him when his projection is? So that means if they were thinking he was going to be further,
projection ain't reality though. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to protect yourself, you add depth.
Then why?
Depth don't got nothing to do with injuries. Depth is making sure you got enough guys and enough bodies that can perform at a level, so you're not trotting out David Stills out there.
You have depth right now because right now you even have Hyatt on the roster. You have all these other guys. You talking about depth? Pull up the roster. Pull up the roster. How many receivers are on the roster? You have depth. Now that's why I'm separating in terms. I'm talking about. You're talking about depth. You're saying getting another receiver because that adds to depth. Am I correct? You just said. You got it, bro. I'm done.
No, I'm saying you said Hyatt though.
I'm done. You know what I'm talking about. Now you want to joke about it.
That's not depth.
Okay.
You got Isaiah Hodgins. You got Isaiah Hodgins. You got.
I'm just asking though. Who feels comfortable? People been joking on this dude.
No, see, you keep hitting and keep saying you're bringing in another receiver because it adds depth. It adds depth. My whole point is depth. And I just said to you, bring up the roster and count how many receivers are on the roster. That is depth. I can use that as depth.
I want better. I want better players.
Which is what I've been saying from the get-go. But you've been
if you want to get better depth, do you take Tate or Jordan Tyson at number 5?
Thank you.
That's just a fact. Because you're saying that you want a receiver that could come in and step in for Malik Neighbors, and none of those guys on this team right now that you can say that can come in and step in for Malik Neighbors. So you got to go higher than them.
I'm not drafting a Malik Neighbors, bro. Why?
No. That's not what he's saying. But here's
that's
the
where it's leading to.
No, that's not what he's saying.
You need to take a receiver at 5.
No, it's not. You want to draft somebody that is better than what you have.
No, I don't. I don't want to draft nobody that's better than Malik Neighbors because you keep bringing up Malik Neighbors. I want somebody better than Darnell fucking Mooney.
But that's what he just said. That's what he just said.
And I can get that in the second round. So why you keep talking about 5?
No, you can't.
Listen to what I'm saying.
No, you can't. All those receivers are going.
I can't. Okay.
No.
I can't get a better receiver than Darnell Mooney at 5 in the second round.
No. So name him.
No.
I can't.
Name him.
No.
We're gonna see.
Name him.
We're gonna see.
Name him.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see now. We're doing the draft tomorrow. We're gonna see. I'm gonna show you. Y'all think this dude hot shit? Like he been fucking balling out.
That's not what anybody is saying. See, you're putting words in people's mouth. You're putting words in people's mouth, and that's what anybody is saying. That's not what anybody said. You know what? Like I said, you got it, bro.
I'm just saying.
You got it. I'm done.
I'm just saying.
I'm done. I don't want to talk about it no more. You got it.
If you want to guarantee yourself somebody that's better than Mooney and them on the bench, you better get him at 5.
Gotta get him at 5.
So, like I said, name the receivers that you will get in the second round.
This ain't a name game. I'm just telling you what I'm saying.
So you're gonna tell me I can get somebody better than the second round than what Mooney can be for right now as a rookie. Because it's going to have to be a rookie because they're not getting anybody else in free agency. The only one that's out there is Juwan Jennings, and he wants $20 million a year. I asked a
simple question, and we went into this. I asked, do the Giants need more weapons for Jackson Dart? Y'all said y'all comfortable with it. Cool. If you comfortable, you comfortable. I'm not. We moving on. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be made like my words ain't hitting hard like they supposed to. Because I'm asking simple questions. Now, if you guys want to ask the questions for the show, go ahead. Because you don't like my questions, apparently.
And like I said, you always do that. Nobody said it didn't like the question. When somebody answers the question, it seems like you don't want to comprehend what other people are saying.
I comprehend. I'm not slow, nigga.
Nobody said you were slow. See, you put another words in my mouth. Who said you were slow, nigga? My opinion is if you want to get somebody that's better than Mooney, you better take them high. Because most of those receivers are going high in this draft. I guarantee it.
I don't speak foreign languages. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm saying something, like, please, if it's not being understood, then I guess I'm not speaking clear enough. So I must have an issue, or there must be an issue with me, because I don't understand why when I'm saying simple stuff, it's being misinterpreted. I asked a simple question. There was no need to go left field with all this shit every time I ask a simple question, because the questions is to be debated, but there's not no debate if we can't have a discussion and understanding what we talking about.
So
Darnell Mooney was not on the screen, bro. There was nothing. This Darnell Mooney thing is like almost something of a thing here. It's about we can discuss whether they have enough weapons or not and move on. But we want to talk about routes and Darnell Mooney and shit. That's the shit that be getting me. It's like, where is this coming from? It's like you think I don't understand that Darnell Mooney played in Chicago and I don't watch his route running and all this. It's like you think I don't get it. That's why I'm like, what? Why you keep explaining shit to me that I don't understand, that I already understand?
So when you ask us a question, are you comfortable with the weapons? And we say, yeah, because I believe Darnell Mooney can come in and do this, and he can do this very well, and I'm comfortable with that. That's an issue?
No, the issue is you telling me.
Hold on. Or an issue is when you say, hey, I want to get depth on the team because if Malik Neighbors goes down, I want pretty much what you're saying is you want somebody better than Darnell Mooney.
That's not what I'm saying, bro.
So what are you saying right there? So
pretty much what you're saying. So you're saying on screen that you are putting words in my mouth. Pretty much what you're saying is
you literally said you are not comfortable with the Darnell Mooney being your number 2, correct?
The thing we got misinterpreted at, if I could say something, was y'all kept saying that we need to take somebody at 5.
No. I'm saying that's my opinion, sir. If you want to get somebody better than Mooney as your number 2, just in case Malik Neighbors go down, because you tried to say, why am I trying to draft somebody to beat Malik? I didn't say that. I said just in case he goes down.
You was trying to say.
No, I was not. Why would I try to say draft somebody that can beat Malik Neighbors? And I know what Malik Neighbors is.
NYG, you looking to replace Malik Neighbors?
No, I'm not. Literally, what we said is if you're not comfortable with Darnell Mooney as being your number 2, especially if Malik Neighbors goes down, my opinion is you're gonna have to take somebody high. That's exactly what I said.
And I'm saying you don't.
Then that's it. That's an opinion. Other people have right to have their opinions too, and I'm telling you, most of those top receivers that will give you more than what Darnell Mooney can give you right now, as a rookie coming in, you're gonna have to take somebody high. You're not gonna be able to get somebody in the 3rd or 4th round. We don't even have a 3rd round pick, and we still gotta get guards. And we only have 1 4th round pick.
Darnell Mooney put up 443 yards for the Falcons last year and 1 touchdown.
And he got hurt. Now look what he did before that.
Hear none of your excuses,
look
bro.
What he did before that season. Look what he did before that season when he played. Look what he did before that season when he played. Look what he did in Chicago when he played. Got over 1,000 yards.
I'm not going back to Chicago. You said right now.
Right now.
3 years ago in Chicago. Right now ain't 3 years ago in Chicago, brother. It's right now. So we only can go by what he got right now, which 443 yards touchdown. Get that in second round. Thank you very much.
Go look at what
people
say
about
Thank you very much.
I can get it in the 3rd round, sir. So my question still stands.
You don't have a 3rd round.
They need more
pick.
weapons than Jackson Dart. for Jackson Dart. Yeah, because Darnell Mooney and these mini guys ain't it. And he got the dropsies last year. 6.1%, 6.9%. I can get that in the second round. And then, you don't need to pick at number 5. See, that's the bullshit. And I would never say that. To pick somebody at 5 to replace Malik Neighbors. Hell no.
I never
what
said
I look
that
like.
either. Nobody ever said that either. But you said
that's what you were trying to say, though,
no,
bro.
it was not.
Yes, you was.
No, it was not.
Okay.
Why would I want to replace Malik
crazy,
Neighbors with a draft pick? You literally said that shit before I even got out what I was saying. Literally did that. Why would I want to draft somebody and say to replace Malik Neighbors? That doesn't even make any sense.
You said I said it. That's
no,
the problem.
When did I say you wanted to draft somebody to replace Malik Neighbors? No,
if you want somebody to step in for Neighbors, you're gonna have to take them at 5. Did you not say that?
Does that say replace Malik Neighbors, sir?
Huh?
Does that say replace Malik Neighbors?
Stepping in is stepping in.
If you want somebody, if you
not
want
replacing him permanently, but it's replacing him.
I said if you want somebody to come in that could be dope like that, and you won't have super drop off like we did last year. Yeah, I'm taking somebody high. That's a fact.
Okay, so you said it. Thank you. I'm not crazy. Shit.
But nobody said replace Malik Neighbors. We're talking about if you want to replace somebody and you don't want Mooney to be your number 1. That's exactly what you said. So I'm saying, okay, then go get somebody like a Jordan Tyson or a Carnell Tate. Just in case Malik Neighbors goes down. You got Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate that could come in and be a number 1 for you until Malik Neighbors comes back. That's the logic. And I'm saying you're not going to get that caliber of a player in the second round because most of those dudes are going to be gone, especially with what you want, a bigger receiver. The next best thing is Muhammad or Chris Bell, who's coming off an ACL. And even he is still predicted to go in the first round. So is, not Muhammad, Denzel Boston from Washington. After that is a drop-off to somebody like the dude from Cincinnati who's 6'5". He has talent, but he's got to come in and learn. You can't throw him in there. You can't throw Ted Hurst in there. You can't throw Rodgers in there. You can't throw the other dude from Oregon in there. Okay. You can't because they have to come in and develop. They do. They're developmental picks.
I can't go get a receiver that can give me 440-some yards and a touchdown. Shit, Gunner can do that.
So you're going to base it off a year that the dude got hurt. Okay, cool. So you can say that about Malik Neighbors too because he got hurt.
Well, again, I'm not impressed, and we're going to get to the Jets. Should the Jets take a wide receiver at 5? Or no? Would they pick? No. 16. 16. No, not at 2. We know they're taking Arvell Reese or pass rusher. 16, because I'm hearing Ty Simpson. I'm hearing offensive lineman. I'm hearing possibly a receiver. Do they need to take a receiver at 16? Because the Jets, looking at the Jets roster, let's take a look at the Jets roster here real quick. Because the Jets are in a bad spot here because they do need a quarterback. I don't think they need to take Ty Simpson. And I don't think Geno Smith is I don't know if he's going to hold up, to be honest with you. They got Adonai Mitchell. They got Garrett Wilson. They got Isaiah Williams. I like Adonai Mitchell. But yeah, they need some help. I think they need help. So they might be a team that might take a swing on a Mikal Lemon or somebody like that.
That's exactly who you pick. You pick Mikal Lemon if he's there. If not, you take best player available with this Jets team. You don't reach on the quarterback because this team is not built and the quarterback is not going to save you. You take Mikal Lemon and fill that slot role next to Garrett Wilson, and you see if Adonai Mitchell can get his head straight, because if so, that's 3 very good receivers out there for whoever's going to be the quarterback, Geno Smith or whoever. And you roll with that, and if you're sorry again, then you get your quarterback. But you take best player available at both spots, which will probably be Averill Reese and Mikal Lemon. That's exactly who I would get.
But it's got to be Geno Smith, man. So if Geno Smith is there as the quarterback, I mean, you do want to help him out. You don't want to leave him out there dry, and you do want to set up whoever's coming in for the next quarterback as the next quarterback, because here's the thing for the Jets, right? If you're thinking about taking a quarterback next year, what is this quarterback coming into? What situation is he coming into? So you want to set him up as best you can, with this draft, and then of course the draft next year, however you work it out. So I do think you can consider it. I don't think it's a slam dunk that they should take a receiver, but I do think you should consider it, because again, you're not really building this thing for Geno Smith per se. He's only going to be here for the short term. You building this roster out for your next quarterback, and you don't want him to come into a situation bare bones like Cam Ward or somebody had to come into last year. So that's how I look at it. I think that should be an option for the Jets. But what y'all got?
Don't bring Ty Simpson into a situation like this, especially if you're not sold on this dude being a top quarterback. Because if you were, you would take him at 2. So if he's going to reach 16, a lot of people are not really sold on that guy like that. You wait till you really sold on your guy. You take best people available in this draft, because you got to build your team back up. You lost all your defense, so I pretty much guarantee they're probably going to take Averill Reese at 2. And if somebody like Mikal Lemon is at 16, like I said, you can put him right there in the slot over Isaiah Williams and be straight with Mitchell, Wilson, and Mikal Lemon right there. And if you protect Geno Smith, get you a guard or somebody in the second round if you don't feel that good about your linemen. But I think Dylan Parham is cool. Fashano is cool. Tippmann is cool. Mimbu is cool. And Josh Myers was actually cool at center. So I think you got a decent offensive line and not trash. So if they can protect Geno Smith and you got those 3 guys out there and you brought Breece Hall back with Braylon Allen, you run the ball and get the ball to those receivers in certain situations and see where you go. And your defense is going to have to step up again, because you got rid of both Williams brothers. You got rid of Gardner, but you brought back old man from the Saints. He's still good. He's like immortal. That dude can still play. So you use those picks and draft best player available when you got multiple draft picks in the first round, especially if you're not sold on freaking Ty Simpson, because if you were, you would be taking him at 2. You got to go best player available.
like I said, you're gonna be bringing this in. You're gonna be bringing this. This is gonna be for the next quarterback. You're gonna be building this out for, right?
Yep.
So. Yeah, I don't. The Jets do got to work on getting these draft picks and developing them, just like the Giants. Because I mean, you got Garrett Wilson, you had some guys there, you got rid of them. Some guys walked in free agency. Some guys went to the Giants. You know, so they let a lot of people out the door too that ain't getting developed. And we'll see what Aaron Glenn and them can come up with. All right, what else? All right, we're gonna check on the Yankee game.
Yo, don't I get a say in the conversation?
Yeah, go ahead, coach.
I was waiting for you to talk.
You two were talking.
Nah, go ahead, jump in. Shit. That's why I was looking. That's why I stayed quiet. I was like, all right, he gonna say something or what?
You two were just talking, and I was just waiting.
Nah, go ahead.
Go ahead, coach.
As far as the Jets, it's 16. Personally, I don't have an issue if they feel Ty Simpson feel like taking him. I look at him, other than the injury, he was projected to be the number one quarterback. He really was. And he has all the tools. Now, if you're saying you don't want to come in here and throw him to the wolves, okay, I get it. Realistically, I think he's probably going to end up at Pittsburgh, but I think that would probably be the best spot for him. But I don't have an issue if the Jets take him. Now, taking a receiver, good thing to do. I get it. Makes sense also. So I can see it both ways. But as far as Simpson, I can see if you feel like you can bring him here, let him sit for a year, and then develop him. Because remember, wasn't that what the Giants were supposed to do with Dart? Yeah. You were supposed to sit him for a year, even if team was bad.
You got Geno, so
exactly. So
that's
if
the
you
quality starting quarterback, or at least you think so. You know.
So it now, like Pat said, now if you don't believe in him, different story. But projections are, he's going to be in that 16 to going into the second round. I get it. Now your evaluation, his medicals, all of that, but he can make all the throws. He's proven that already. And playing in the SEC. So it's not like he had, now if you want to say he hasn't played many years, okay, I won't debate that. But in terms of talent, he has the talent.
Nah, I like Ty Simpson. I did a video on him. I just don't like this situation for him with the Jets.
That's
you know what
fair.
I'm saying? It's a finicky situation.
Oh,
I think he could be a good quarterback, not a great quarterback, and you're not taking a okay good quarterback. Definitely not at number 2, and definitely not with a coach that needs to win games this year, and Aaron Glenn. That was my thing with Ty Simpson. But Ty Simpson, I watched this film and everything before I did the video. I mean, he can play. He's a smart quarterback. I love a quarterback that has his head in the game. That's number 1. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell he does. Decent, not great arm strength. I would say he's accurate, in the intermediate parts of the game. You know what I mean? But deep throws, okay. I think
he's also the son of a coach. So he's been groomed to play this position. So
that's why I say he's smart. That was the first thing I noticed about him. I said, okay, this kid's gonna be able to go in, read coverages, and dissect defenses and make good plays, smart plays. The question with Todd Simpson is his height and his arm strength.
6'2", same height as Jackson Dart.
And that's what for the Jets per se, they looking at the arm strength. You know what I'm saying? Because of the and it's just mostly on the deep ball accuracy. I think Pat pointed it out a little bit last year with Dart, how the ball kind of fluttered a little bit when it got real windy out there at MetLife. So those are some questions, but even still, man, Chad Pennington played. He had a noodle, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it's just rich for Aaron Glenn, this coaching staff, and for the Jets in this situation.
That's fair.
Yankees 7-0 over the Giants. It is a final.
Aaron Judge 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts.
Yeah.
He's going to get ripped.
Well, the team won, so I don't care. You know what I mean? I care about the team winning. Max Fried looked good. So that's a good sign.
They won big. They won on the road, so that's also another good thing. So yeah, I'm with you.
And the Giants are a good team. The San Francisco Giants are a good team. They're not a terrible team. So a decent win for the Yankees there. Of course, you see people be hating on the Yankees. This is talking about they might not be the best team. They might not be the best team in the AL East, but they got a good win here. And I like the fact that the bottom of the lineup came through. You see Austin Wells right there, 2 for 3. McMahon, 1 for 4. Caballero, he had the big hit, the RBI. Jazz Chisholm, one of my favorite players on the Yankees, still doing his thing out there, 1 for 3 with a run scored. So not much from the top of the lineup, but they got a lot from the bottom of the lineup. Actually got some production out of old Stanton there, 2 out of 4. Max Fried pitched 6 in the third, 2 hits, no earned runs, a walk, 4 strikeouts. So through 86 pitches. So decent out in there for the Yankees. Mets tomorrow against Paul Skeens and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Oh, I didn't know Leaf was in the backstage. Shit, we about to go to culture segment.
Brooklyn is up by 12 points.
Oh, the Nets are playing.
Yeah, they're up by 12
I guess we can bring them in. We're already over time. I'll bring you in for a little bit. What up, bro?
What's going on, man? What's going on, Coach?
What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on, NY, man? I'm trying to get at you earlier, but guess kind of related but unrelated. But Cam Thomas got cut again.
Yeah, we talked about it. I'll ask you this question because I asked them earlier. The question on the Nets was, how you feeling about these picks? These 5 first-round picks that they got. A lot of people saying they all misses. I don't think that's the case. But I do think the Nets haven't really hit on draft picks now that the Cam Thomas situation is over. We looked at the last 3 drafts they had, and there ain't no bangers in there. For real. So,
to me, I think the one person that has shown that he can at least produce at any spot you put him on the floor is Danny Wolf. We done played him at the 5. We done played him at the 4. We done played him at the 3. Hell, we even played him at the 2 this year. And he has showed that he can fill up a stat sheet anywhere he goes, an offensive machine. I don't think it's very seldom that you see somebody at that height with the concepts that we teach in basketball first, with dribble, pass, shoot concepts that he has, man. Like offensively, man, like when he's allowed to run offense, and I seen it the other night against the Sacramento Kings when he got that injury, like the Nets offense is opened up especially when he's at the 5 and we don't have nobody clogging up the paint and nobody that doesn't have shooting ability on the court. But he's been probably arguably the most impressive and the most versatile to me. Nolan Trayor probably has the if I want to say the best natural ability out of everybody. Ben Seraph is still a project. Drake Powell has some upside, but he's still a project. He's kind of timid to me. He's like the scared black dude in the Scary Movie. Who else did we had? Yegor still has foot fasciitis. He's 19. So basically we got 3 19-year-olds. And I just need to say this right now since I'm up here. Sean Marks, stop drafting fucking 19-year-olds. You don't know how to groom them.
Sean Marks need to stop drafting. Why is he here?
Listen, I agree with you on that. But at the same time, bro, like, listen, we understand job security in the NBA, at least to a T. So if you like, at least to a T. So Sean Marks, stop drafting fucking 19-year-olds because you don't know what you're doing with them.
I don't know why.
If they not elite out the gate, you need to stop drafting them. Stick to 21-year-olds.
What has he accomplished, bro?
Nothing.
How, like, what GM keeps the job this long is literally dismantled the team twice.
And
you have nothing to show for it. You have a blank roster with just prospects. You got draft picks. You got lottery tickets.
Who was
Not saying they ain't good, but they
who was running the
tickets.
Clippers in the 90s? That's the who's running the Clippers in the 90s?
Oh, the dude that got fired because of they kicked him out the league or whatever. You talking about the owner?
No. Donald Sterling was the owner.
Donald Sterling, yeah.
GM was Elgin Baylor, right?
GM. Oh, it was Elgin Baylor was the GM, or was he the GM for the
He was the GM for the Clippers for a long time.
That was the Clippers.
Yeah, I think he was. The Elgin Baylor he couldn't win at all. He couldn't win while he was in the league. He couldn't win while he was out the league. He couldn't win, period. So he was just perennial.
I'm saying though, Elgin Baylor was a Hall of Fame player. So
he was.
Again, you know what I'm saying? Who is Sean Marks? Why is he here? Who sent him?
Joe Tsai. But just to touch on the Cam Thomas subject, just a little bit, man, before we move on, I will say this. It comes a time where you have to stop looking at
though. What would you ask earlier, Coach? You can ask Lee.
I heard he had attitude problems. So I don't know. I just heard that from a couple other Nets fans. Mm-hmm. So, and they said the reason why he's not with the Nets is because he has attitude problems. So I don't know. So I posted to NYT and he said he doesn't know himself.
I heard the same thing about Milwaukee. I heard he had the same issue in Milwaukee. I heard they didn't like his whole demeanor. They didn't like him talking to the Nassus, and then Giannis got up, and then something of that nature, this, that, and the third. What I will say is this: the perception. Listen, when your perception is in the public, it's not going to come back to you. When the perception of you is now up to the public to judge, because the NBA basically, this is what the NBA did. This is who you are. Because the NBA tends to do that a lot. This is who you are. Boom. That's it. Live with you got to learn to live with it if you want to stay in this league. That's it. So I think the thing with Cam Thomas is I don't know how you get cut from 2 teams in 2 months. And at this age, and one of them is supposed to be rebuilding with you. Turn down 2 contracts to earn money. You accepted a 1-year, $6 million contract, thinking that I'm gonna bet on myself, but I'm leaving money on the table. Ain't nobody gonna do this, do that to me. To me, it seemed like he's stuck in his own ways. But I don't know, man. I like, but there comes a time where you have to stop looking at highlights and look deep within and actually see what is really going on, because stuff like this don't just happen. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't just happen. There's something going on behind the scenes and this, that, and the third. That because as fans, we see Cam Thomas on the court. As Nets fans, now that he was in Milwaukee, we see the box score. But the Milwaukee players that was initially there, they saw something else, and they didn't like it. So if you're hearing that from the Nets,
what is he doing though? Like, because he ain't doing nothing off the field or nothing nefarious. So like, that's weird,
it's
man.
Attitude. See, the thing is,
attitude towards the team.
attitude.
But a lot of motherfuckers got attitudes in the NBA, bro.
But
Like,
but there's a point that yes, everyone has an attitude, but do you let that attitude become cancerous and impact and affect others around you? You know, where look, I'm better than you, and your teammates. No, you don't, and you're malicious with it.
Standoffish type of attitude where he don't want to.
Not standoffish. You think your shit don't stink, and everybody else needs to bow down and kiss your feet. That don't go over well, bro. It don't. Yeah. And again, I'm not a Nets fan. I just heard a few people say it. I don't know.
I don't know either. I was just looking at him as a hooper, as a basketball player. I'm like, damn, dude can drop 25 a game. I mean, I think somebody would find some use for him. You know what I'm saying? But I guess not.
I think when you go deep into depth of his game, the thing is he's heavily reliant on difficult shots. And
yeah, he shoots a lot of tough shots. He does.
He's heavily relying on them, and if those difficult shots ain't falling, a lot of times, man, he can play himself off the court.
But that's why you put him on the bench. That's why the perfect role for him would be, like a microwave point scorer. Where you bring him in, let him get hot, let him, put up 15, 16 and a quarter or something like that, and then, hey, all right, buddy,
right.
We need some defense out there. We're going to put you back down. You know what I mean? And that's what it's going to be. But
like
I think the crossroads here is, and then we got to move forward because it's getting late. But I think the crossroads here is that I think both things are true. You know what I'm saying? I think Cam Thomas can play and should be in this league, but I think that, and I go back to the contract thing, him turning down a contract. So I think that's got something to do with it, where maybe he's valuing himself higher than the league is, and it's coming off like, okay, you think you worth more than what you are. We're going to show you what you really worth, and you won't be playing basketball. And I think that's where, you'll probably see Cam Thomas sign like a little small vet minimum deal somewhere or something to get back on the court if he comes to terms, like you said, with what has happened to him. And it sucks. It's unfortunate. I don't like it, but it is a business and it is the NBA. So, you overpriced yourself. It happens. Now you're gonna have to take, some chump change to get back on the court, or your career gonna be over. And I hope that's not the case for the kid.
I think this is such thing as betting on yourself and taking taking the money as well, because 2 years, $28 million, 2 years, $28 million, or 2 years, $30 million, or however much it was.
Yeah, bro.
I'm not saying
you
that.
From
I'm
Chesapeake,
not saying that,
bro. And then, honestly, bro, I live out here. You from Chesapeake? Not saying he came from a bad background or whatever, but it ain't no lot of rich people out here. You know what I'm saying? So it just that's not nothing to sneeze at. You know what I mean? And I don't know. A lot of people get bad contract advice, and maybe that happened to him, or maybe he just, like people saying, he's just one of them dudes that think he's better than everybody else, or bet. I wouldn't say better than everybody else. Probably better than what the league views of him.
When the league put a tag on you, that's that, bro.
That is that, man. But we're gonna get to coach's segment here. All right. So this week, we gotta hit the beat, man. So this week we will be getting into top 5 childhood activities. Top 5 childhood activities. So, we like to do these fun kind of things where we take it back to back in the day and we talk New York culture. So we're going to get right into it. All right, let's get into it, man. All right. So, I don't know who went first last week.
I know I didn't, but I wasn't in attendance.
I'll go first.
Didn't.
I'll go first. It's not a problem.
I think NYG went first last time.
I can go first. It's not a problem.
All right. You got it.
Is that your slide?
Me?
Jeez. Mine are down in Okay, so keep in mind, I'm the elder statesman here, so my time frame is the 70s. All right, and this is what we used to do back in Plainfield, New Jersey. Queen City, stand up. Coming in at number 5.
Number 5.
What more can you say? Double Dutch, man. I mean, the girls were out there doing it. Guys would go in there and jump in and try. I mean, my big fat self was even trying it. And it just, and you had in where we lived at, we had what we called a main strip to the main roadway, and then we had like 6 off of them. They were dead ends, not cul-de-sacs, dead ends. So, but everybody always met in one location, and you would have probably about 20, 25 kids out there doing double dutch, trying to get it on, having a good time. So there you have it, coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 4.
Number 4.
Wiffle ball. All right. So everyone, we played baseball. We did all those other sports. But it was always the wiffle ball. You know, it was the little white ball that had the slits in it. and it was slow coming, and then you had the bat, and it was always somebody getting struck out. It really was. Somebody was always getting struck out no matter what. And if you hit it, try to hit it hard, it still didn't go far. But it was always fun, and you always had teams. We always had full teams out there. So, and it was a joy doing that, man. Playing with my friends, my siblings, no matter what. So there you have it. Coming in at number 3.
Number 3.
I think every kid played this, even in school, whatever. But kickball, it was roll the ball down, kick it, and run the bases. Similar to baseball, but you're just kicking the ball. That big old meaty ball, that rubberized ball. No matter what, you're going after it, trying to catch it. Some people just, no matter what, they couldn't. But there you have it, playing the kickball, and being that we were on the street, so you use whatever for bases, whether it's manhole covers, you got a can that you put at first base up against the curb, whatever, man. You just had a good time playing kickball. Coming in at number 2.
Number 2.
Dodgeball, man. Played it in school, played it in the street, no matter what. It's always, as I put up there, pow, boom, getting smacked up with that rubber ball, man, no matter what. But everyone was out there, and didn't matter how young, how old. You had older kids, getting in there, smacking up those young kids. You want to play with the big kids, but you're going to get smacked up. But there you have it. That's one of the best childhood activities, because it was everywhere. Coming in at number
1.
Go-kart and sleighing, man. Just like I said, on the street, we had the little blocks with the main strip, and at the very top, it was always would go up, and we were out there sleighing in the snow, and during the go-karts, you come down, and the thing that we would always try and do, we would try to go all the way up to the 6th block, which is where the block that I lived on before you got to the main road. But you get there and you're in your go-kart, trying to shake it and move it to get those extra inches. And it was a long ride. But you really tried, no matter what. Build your go-karts, getting different tires and having your parents help you out. But then you get it built right, and you're going and having a good time. There you have it. That's number 1. I also gave you a little couple of honorable mentions, so throw those up for me real quick. Hopscotch, freeze tag, regular tag, and red light, green light. Now, we all remember some of those, so those are my honorable mentions. So those are all my childhood kid activities, man. Great times back in the day. So that's it. Back to you guys.
Dope list, man. Duck, dodge. You remember that?
Yeah, duck, dodge, dip.
Yeah, dodge. Okay, yeah. Everybody calls it differently.
It's amazing, man, because Coach, you got the 70s. Mm-hmm. Pop, you got the 80s, and of course I got the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for those of y'all that's watching, that's 3 different decades of childhood, and it's 3 different things, man. Pop, I know you, NYG, bro, I know you got some stuff in the 80s, man, that I probably ran through the 90s at some point, man, but like in the 90s, I would say, I don't want to boast and brag about it, but I was probably a part of the last group of kids that was able to go outside and play in the street, and that was probably the last generation of it, because once online and internet came out, it was a wrap.
That's true.
So
yeah.
So I'm proud. I'm proud to say that for sure.
All right.
I'll get to my list.
Well, I'm gonna get to my list first. All right. So top 5 childhood activities, man. Let's start off with number 5.
Number 5.
Stick ball. Much like wiffle ball that coach played. We played with a stick. A stick, and it could be a handball, a tennis ball, or something like that. Small, not always necessarily a baseball. We didn't have that stuff. We would get a 2x4 or a broom handle, mop handle, or anything like that, man. And like you see there, you draw out the bases and just like baseball, you know what I'm saying? Batter up. You know what I'm saying? But we had a blast, man, playing stickball, man. Because we didn't necessarily have all the little, equipment and the fields and stuff. There were baseball fields, but we ain't have access to them. But anyway, stickball coming in at number 5. At number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah, man. Slap boxing. Yeah, slap boxing. We used to always slap box. Then again, this is hood stuff because of lack of equipment. When you growing up in the areas I grew up in, you didn't have all this fancy stuff, or you couldn't pay the money to go to a gym or anything like that. So you just went out in the streets. And this was just a way for dudes to get their aggression out without actually messing your face up. You know what I'm saying? But them joints got intense, and it did lead to fisticuffs sometimes. But for the most part, somebody just slapped shit out you. All right. Number 3.
Number 3.
All right, relay races, and racing. We was always racing of some sort. You would race to the store, race to the park. You would race up the block. You did sprints. We did relays. We did 100 meters. We did marathons. We did all kind of racing. We was always running from something or somehow. But relay races was big in school in my day. I competed in a lot. I was actually a decent athlete as a youth, believe it or not. But my athletic skills have deteriorated. But I was big into racing, man. I was real fast when I was a kid. But let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
All right, this was my version of football. 3-second hold. We called it 3-second hold. Now, didn't want to tackle nobody on no concrete per se. That could lead to all kind of things. It did happen from time to time. Playing 3-second hold, Whoosh, we're not playing tackle. Wow. But again, 3-second hold was the game. And it was just like football. We played like football, quarterback. A lot of times you would just have an all-time quarterback, somebody that just threw, and everybody else would just play the wide receiver, running back positions and stuff like that. So, but we played 3-second hold because we couldn't tackle, So, yeah, I did play football, but it was this version of it. But 3-second hold, man, we used to love playing that. When we got to play tackle at the park, we still wanted to play 3-second hold. All right, let's get to number 1, man.
Number 1.
Crate ball. Crate ball was my number 1 game because when the courts was full, and you wanted to play and you wanted to hoop, yeah, you found one of these joints and you got your game on. And sometimes they would set them up at full court, believe it or not. You know what I mean? It'd be like pole to pole. So your goal would be down on that end. You know what I'm saying? We would play like that. And you'd be running back up the street, cars be coming. Oh, hold up, a car coming. But crate ball, you know what I'm saying? I always played basketball. You know, I played hanger ball in the house. We would get a garbage can and shoot in that joint. Anything to play basketball. But crate ball, as I like to call it, was king around there. You know, when you couldn't get on the court. When we could get on the court, we got on the court. But a lot of times you couldn't. Older cats out there, or they was playing tournaments or whatever. So, got you a crate. And that's my top 5 childhood activities. What you think?
Brilliant. I like it, man. And I like how some of that stuff carried over into my decade. I didn't have a top 5 initially, but I did want to bring up a couple of things that carried in because definitely from the 70s and from the 80s, obviously double dutch and obviously crate ball for sure. When we played that in the street, this is before the crate challenge shit that they was doing on the internet and all that garbage, man. Like this is before that garbage. But we had Scully, of course, Scully in the street. We had yo-yos in the 90s too. And we used to have a pull-up contest where we pull up, go to the corner, and pull up underneath the lights on the light poles where they had the walk and don't walk signs. And I was so damn small, I used to have to climb up the little whatchamacallit first, the little pint-sized thing first, and then wiggle my way up. And I was literally challenging some of the old heads. I got in trouble for doing that once because some of them dudes was like fresh out of you know what. So like I was literally challenging them, and they wasn't the losing type of gentleman. So I had to cut that short. I got in trouble for that one time. Said that, you don't go down there messing with them. And another thing which that carried on was we had a laundromat at the corner, and it had Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, which was another one of our things, man. We used to go to the corner and play Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. This is before online gaming. You know what I'm saying? Where you actually had to go somewhere to play somebody, and that was like the first competition. So the 90s, man, I feel proud that Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat I pretty much grew up on. You know, when it first came out, that's where I was.
I am extremely disappointed. First and foremost, you gotta include Heads Up 7-Up. I know y'all played that in school when you was little. Yeah. You gotta include Duck Duck Goose.
Yeah.
Duck Duck Goose. I played that. Hot Potato and all of that.
Yeah, include Hot Potato. You gotta include Hide and Seek.
Standard. That's why I didn't include it. It's like
I was thinking of more like
physical
activity.
Yeah.
The most physical activity I ever done was we had contests. We had a Willie the Bike contest.
I thought about that. Yeah, I did think about that. That was an honorable mention.
And then the last one I would say, before I forget it. Oh my God, horse. Playing basketball horse on the court.
Yep.
True.
You gotta include that one. I can't believe y'all didn't say Duck Duck Goose. Man, that was the stuff. Duck Goose. You had to run around that circle, hurry up and sit in that spot before they get back.
And I'm gonna tell you why I didn't say hide and seek. Because hide and seek led to another game.
Yeah, hide and go get it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, because I'm gonna have to put that one in. I'm like, no.
Got a couple of girlfriends off that game.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
I think I was more in the toy era, man, because
Cool.
We had we not only had action
in
figures
the bottle.
and everything like that, and the wrestling figurines and all of that.
Yep.
But we
Manhunt, yeah.
Manhunt, yep.
Man,
We also had Legos back in the 90s. And
Yep, Legos was the stuff.
Legos,
Smash
yeah.
each other's bases when we were little. When you sleep, smash your base up. Be so mad. But yeah, this is dope, man. I love all those little games we used to be able to play as kids, but they don't do that no more, man.
And YG, I will say, no one wanted to slap box with me. 'Cause I was always the biggest one. So as soon as I hit somebody, yeah, you're right. You talking about fisticuffs?
Yeah.
It's like
They used to always make us slap box though, yo.
Like no, you can't.
That always used to turn into something else, bro.
Exactly. It's just
Hey, I gotta ask: was Slapbox the first ever version? Was basically the first ever version of the slap challenge that they got online now that y'all see?
It was like boxing. It was boxing. You would box. You know what I'm saying? But instead of punching, you would open your hands up and just smack.
Bro, that slap thing that they got with Dana White, that is the dumbest sport
that
I've
ain't
ever seen in
it
my
wasn't
life,
it wasn't no open face joint. Like
Yeah.
we was blocking them joints. Like I wasn't getting hit.
Man,
You know what I'm saying? I was defensive.
how can you sit there with your hands behind your back and let another huge human being
play slap
measure,
boxing, boy?
like, they literally sit
You
there
could
and
touch my
measure
hand
their
and
weight.
they wind up.
Yeah. Man, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life, man.
Go watch the bank. Go watch how much money they making.
Oh they make a
people
lot of
like
money.
that shit. People like.
They better make a lot of that's concussion protocol, bro. Could you imagine somebody 350 pounds coming through with a whole palm and just breathing on you 1, 2, 3 times?
Think about it.
I'm not.
Some of those dudes is 350 pounds, so they putting their weight behind it.
Yeah.
So,
They putting a lot of shoulder behind that, bro.
And then there's no resistance. There's no resistance. You just sitting
none.
There. Man,
that's why that's not the type of slap boxing we did. Like I said, we was boxing. So when somebody swung, you blocked that joint.
You did.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, honorable mention, but my pops were anytime something was breaking out in front of the building, he used to take the boxing gloves, bro, and give them to the kids and let them scrap. Like this was early on. He had videos of this. This is when I was like real young. But like
ain't nobody give us no boxing gloves. We got boxing gloves every once in a while, but wasn't nobody giving out no boxing gloves. And we was just them type of kids. We was dangerous. Like, you know what I'm saying? Aggressive. You know what I'm saying? So it was like we wanted to smack each other.
We was definitely it was definitely some autopilot shit going back then. Autopilot. Oh man.
But let's get into Coach's Corner so we can wrap this thing up.
Coach.
Definitely appreciate you. All right, man. Coach. It's your time to shine, brother.
Appreciate everyone for being here and another episode of Coach's Corner. So I'm gonna just dive into it. Starting with the New York Liberty. Finally, the labor talk is over with, and now that the union and the board of governors have signed off on the new CBA, the next step is how to fit players under the salary cap. It goes with who gets the super max, the max. So financially positioning players, with salaries that both feel is best. Liberty GM Jonathan Cole, he's facing a massive challenge. One of the biggest one, how to sign Jonquel Jones, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, Cave and Leaf and I, we were talking about that yesterday, man. Each is eligible for the Supermax. And the Supermax is $1.4 million. Now, the salary cap is $7 million. So, who's going to decide to take a little bit less, or are they going to go somewhere else? So, there's going to be a lot of salary dynamics going on, for the Liberty and across the league. After figuring out the big three, you have key players, and I mean, you got the expansion draft coming up, and just talk to Leaf about it. I thought it was 6 players you can protect, but now it's only 5. So, if you're locking in the big three, what about your starters in Natasha Cloud, Kennedy Burke, Izzy Harrison, Maureen Johannes? With their value, you have only 2 players that are locked in under contract. Nair Sably and Leonia Febush, and now are you protecting them? It's a lot that you have to think about, that goes into everything, and GM Cobb has a lot to really to go through. So, and the expansion draft is actually April 6th. So, the Liberty have to get their picks in, and they're protected by between the 1st to the 5th, which is next week. So think about that. So this creates an interesting dilemma for the Liberty going forward. So your role players, starters, whatever. So we're going to see coming next week. Moving on to St. John's basketball. Now, St. John's, being that they're in the NCAA tournament, their last game, they defeated Kansas 67-65. They're advancing to face the number 1 seed Duke. Now, during that game, Dylan Darling hit the driving layup at the buzzer to help St. John's advance. The Storm, they were led by Zuby Ejiofor and Bryce Hopkins with 18 points apiece. And again, moving on to face Duke, this is going to the East semis, so it's going to be a daunting task. As a little side note, Ejiofor, he actually transferred to St. John's from Kansas, so this was a bit of redemption for him against his previous team. So good luck to St. John's against the Dukes. Against Duke, going to be a big task. All right, going to talk a little bit about LIU and Hofstra. We've been following them as we go, but they both lost in the NCAAs, so their season came to an end. But congratulations to them both. Successful season overall, no matter what, and hopefully they can continue to grow and be consistent participants in the NCAA tournament. So, going to move on to Syracuse. I'm putting Syracuse in because the basketball team, they actually hired a former legendary player. Jerry McNamara is now the head coach of Syracuse. So, for those of you who remember, he was a key contributor in helping the Orange win the national championship in 2003. He, along with fellow freshman Carmelo Anthony, they both ended up on the all-tournament team. So after graduating from Syracuse, McNamara bounced around the pro circuit, trying to make it to the NBA. He played in the developmental leagues here in the States, played pro ball in Greece. And when it didn't come to fruition, he eventually started coaching. Started at Syracuse, moved up the ranks, eventually ascended into assistant head coach. Then he went on to be the head coach of Siena for the past 2 years, which the success he had there led him coming back to Syracuse after Adrian Archie was let go. So congratulations, coach, on coming home to Syracuse and leading the Orange. And in Syracuse women's talk, if you didn't see it, the head coach of Syracuse was caught during an interview complaining about having to play UConn in 3 of the last 4 years in the second round. They actually lost by 53 points. It was 65-12 at halftime. Second half, both teams scored 36 points, but that's basically because UConn pulled off the dogs. But as a coach, why would you go to the post-game interview complaining like that? You keep that separate, keep that private. Most of you who know me, I always say I'm going to look at the film and come back to beat you. That makes you look like you are afraid to coach. And it's not a good look for Syracuse. So we're going to see what happens going forward from there. And we're going to move on to Rutgers news. Just a little bit to close this out. Mike Sullivan, former NFL coach with the Giants, made the circuit there. He was recently hired as a senior offensive assistant with Rutgers. He actually left the program now to be the quarterback coach with the Raiders. He's going to be tasked with coaching up the potential number 1 overall draft pick, Fernando Mendoza. So wish him the well, wish in this venture, but he's no longer with the Scarlet Knights. So that's what I have for you today on Coach's Corner. Back to you, NYG.
All right, man. Good stuff, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
that was good. That was good.
Syracuse, going with Jerry McNamara.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was hearing that's was eventually gonna happen anyway.
You know, Mel made the push for it because his son Ryan is up there, so and that's his boy. So exactly, it makes sense. So
yeah. So
I think that's a decent hire, and I don't mind it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mind that. Good. I was laughing because the Syracuse women's coach.
Mm-hmm. You saw the interview, right?
She was defeated at the podium.
Yeah, thank you.
She tired of getting her ass whooped, yo.
Hey, listen, coach, and listen. I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, I understand, but coach, as a coach, as you've been a coach, we know you as coach, man. Like the one thing as a leader and as the head person in charge, if you defeated, that means everybody is defeated.
Thank you.
You cannot display that. There's no room in that. There's no room in this in competitive anything for looking or sounding or feeling defeated.
When I'm watching her, she's literally about ready to bawl, man. I'm sitting, don't cry. Please don't cry. Like, I mean, you see the water in her eyes. I was like, no,
you do. And listen, coach. And for anybody out there that is coaching or especially competing on any level, the second that and you are in charge of leading your troops, you cannot show no signs of weakness or being defeated. Ever like that. That display right there. If she don't have a job next year, I'm not mad. Because guess what? You can't do that on camera.
Here's the thing. If I'm a parent of one of those players, I'm talking to her. I'm talking to my daughter. I'm like, yo, you're not getting coached up with the right coach. We need to get you up out of here. I mean, first of all, 65-12 in the first half. 65-12. And yeah, it was 36-36 in the second half. But come on, man,
what chance do you give Duke, Coach? I mean, do you give St. John's against Duke? Man Cave will be calling the game. So what chance do you give the Johnnies?
If I'm gonna weigh the percentages, I'm probably gonna say it's about 37 to 40% chance.
That's too high.
I go higher.
Okay. I mean, Duke can be beat. Don't get me wrong, Remember, they in the first round, they got the test. So now, if the Johnnies come out and they play with confidence and they play pissed off, see, if I'm Rick Pitino, that's the thing I'm doing. Look, man, they disrespected us. They sit here, UConn over us.
Pitino's a good motivator.
Yeah, he is. So, because you saw the video where he's yelling at his players and people were getting upset about that. I'm like, I love that.
Been like that. Yeah,
I love that.
So
I'm like, what is people getting upset about? Do we know where Rick Pitino came from?
Because he's yelling at the players. It's like, see, that's the problem today. You can't yell at the players because people are so sensitive. Look, as a former player, I love when my coach yelled at me because number one, he told me my coach cares about me. Yep. Now I'm not talking about he's saying derogatory and demeaning things, but if he's out there, you know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be out here doing this and doing that. Step up, man. You step up to the plate. Things like that. As parents, we yell at our kids when we know that they can do better. But we live in an era where if you yell as a coach, the parents, are getting their panties in a bunch. Well, you know what? Here's my saying. I always tell my players this right off the bat when we first meet. I'm a passionate coach. I'm gonna, there are times I'm gonna put my arm around you. There's times I'm gonna yell at you. All right? But the one time you gotta worry is if you come off the field and I'm looking at you and I turn around and walk away and I don't come over and say anything to you.
That's when it's over.
Because that's going to be a problem because more than likely you're going to be sitting on the bench.
That's a fact.
Coach, I got a question to ask NYG. What do you think of the Hubert Davis firing?
Well, I think it was long overdue. I don't look. I wasn't never really a fan of the Hubert Davis hiring, so I can't go up in arms over the firing. But they got to get somebody in there that can recruit. You know what I'm saying? And because, like I said, Carolina used to get players. They got Caleb Wilson, man, but they haven't really got a lot of people coming through there like that, So hold on, Lee, because this is my team. I'm a Carolina fan, and look, I wanted Hubert Davis to succeed, but I kind of felt like it wasn't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I could see it's just like you need somebody with some real cachet there. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like at Carolina. That's a prestige program. Hubert Davis didn't really have that. Yeah, he was an alum, but like, what did you do? You see what I'm saying? And so I just want to see who they go get. That's really where my mind is. I'm not mad at the firing. I felt like he did underperform. He didn't perform up to Carolina standards. I mean, you got beat by VCU, dog. Like VCU's a good team, but come on, man. You know what I'm saying? In the first round. So yeah, unacceptable. And somebody's got to pay for it. Unfortunate he didn't have Caleb Wilson, because if Caleb Wilson was out there, that boy can play. I hope the Nets get him.
I second that. I actually hope the Nets do get him too. And to tally on about the UNC thing. First off, some of our favorite players that we've ever seen come from that program. Rasheed Wallace, obviously Jordan, Sam Perkins, James Worthy. Vince was one of my guys. I seen him jump up there long enough to eat a sandwich, and I was sold. And I've been low key on them since, man. So this is unacceptable.
Yeah,
this is unacceptable. No, you can't accept this. Plus, your name is Hubert. You was on the ropes anyway. Get your ass up out of here. You ain't getting it. You ain't getting it done. Get out.
Yeah, I wasn't I wasn't really a fan of it, man. So he's gone. We'll see, man. They got to get somebody, but like they keep saying, it's a different game now because the NIL. So it's yeah, and you can pay for the talent. It's kind of like, why am I going to Carolina? I can go to Norfolk State, get $2 million, something like that. I don't know.
Norfolk State got $2 million.
Yeah,
Right.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? But that's not gonna happen. But I'm just joking. But yeah, but that's all we got for tonight. Appreciate y'all tapping in. This was a fun show.
I don't know why we winning by 5, man. We need to lose the last 10 of these games. Why not? You've been losing. You're gonna win now.
I don't like the losing mentality. Because
I don't like it neither. But I mean, don't give me 90% of the losses and then the other 10%. Then you want to compete. Like what's that doing?
Yeah, it's kind of what the Giants did that one year.
Yeah, right. and yeah, exactly. Remember how you felt when the Giants did that shit? Remember how you all felt? Yeah.
Look, man, I want to see this team do something. I don't like to watch them lose like this. I lose every game. That's just kind of like, and that's supposed to be your favorite team. Like, I mean, they lose every game. Like,
every game.
But all right, man, we out of here, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Take us out, Pat.